Yeah, so just as the video title says, I am a single 31-year-old man that just moved back in with his mother. I have a little over $80,000 in student debt, a full-time job as a IT recruiter, and I am creating this channel to document my life of becoming debt-free and finding more purpose in life. To also be able to give back to people, help individuals to take steps in their professional careers, and also to help the individual that hasn't made it or broke into their career yet. I can remember back when I was first graduating college and I had no experience, and everyone always says you can only get a job if you have the experience, but how do I get the experience if I can't get the job? So I want to be able to give back to young men, women, whoever else is out there, to give tips and tricks on how to better themselves, prepare themselves, and become the obvious choice in the interview when they finally do inevitably get it. Also to give tips and my findings on different things in life, whether that be relationships or paying off debt. When I first started right out of school, I had a little over $150,000 in student debt, and I've paid off about 70,000 of that already. We're about 75 now. Giving real raw numbers on what exactly happened, how I went about doing that, and how I'm going to continue to do that so I can set myself up for success. My ultimate goal in life, what I want, is to just be comfortable. Have my own life, my own space. I want a wife, a family. I want to experience the world. And student debt has been a crippling force that a lot of Americans have all faced. And I'm sure not just Americans. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know what the school system's like in the other countries, but it has been a very crippling entity in our financial ecosystem, and it is difficult to be able to combat it. But again, this channel will be just a story on my life and my experiences, and to be able to give back to, or the way that I view it is that I'm speaking to my younger self. I didn't have a father figure, or rather, I didn't have a father figure or sound advice when it came to many things, being relationships or financial decisions, and I've always wanted to be able to give that back to other individuals, a younger individual, maybe that is going through a very similar thing that I did when I was younger, and in hopes that I can better their life and help them to make better decisions and take more accurate steps towards whatever life that they want to live. Obviously, that's different for everybody. Again, for me, I have a very clear idea as far as what I want out of life. And in order to do that, you have to meet certain things being, well, you don't have to, but it makes life a heck of a lot easier if you don't have $80,000 of student debt just lying around. So in future videos, what you can expect out of this is probably updates on where I am at in life, or different things that I did, again, to cut down the debt, different tips and tricks on that, and then progress on where it's going. A big chunk of the content is going to be revolving around different steps when it comes to recruiting, as that's my professional career, and I've been doing that for 5 years now. And I can provide real life insight from the other side to be able to help people prepare for their first interview out of college potentially, or maybe make a career switch into a different field, or again, just really pick my brain and what I see from my perspective, having done it for so long, and will continue to do this probably for the rest of my career now. As I do get a lot of help out of, or rather, I get a lot of joy out of being able to help people better their lives. At the end of the day, a job can make or break your life in many different forms. Some people do it out of passion, some people do it out of necessity. And I did it out of necessity initially, and I've come to find it to be much more fulfilling than I ever thought I never could be. So I want to be able to give back to, or my target audience is to give back to the younger audience who is going through those trials and tribulations now, whereas someone who's been very seasoned and has gotten their own jobs can speak on that from their own experience as well. As many people know, the job market is not great right now for anybody, not just people right out of college, not people who have been in the market for 20 plus years. And I can speak on that from firsthand experience because I'm the people or the one that's hiring the individuals. So again, the content is going to be primarily focused on different aspects related to that, being recruiting and landing a job and preparing for it, and understanding what recruiters look for from their perspective, what a top tier candidate actually looks like. And then again, my financial journey, achieving that, getting to what I'm calling the promised land, which is the dream, right? And then once you achieve that dream, you move on to the next one. But for right now, my dream is to become debt free, have my own place. Again, I really want a German Shepherd. I could get one now, but that's besides the point. And a loving wife and children. But in order to do that in a very controlled and successful manner, financial stability is necessary for that. As I grew up in a pretty poor household, I never want to have the children that I have one day have to go through those trials, as it can be a bit daunting or a bit. I mean, at the time, I didn't realize what was actually going on, but I'm sure on the parent side of things, it made it a bit more stressful. So, again, my main goal in life: be debt free, live life to the fullest with the people that I love, find the one that I love and want to spend the rest of my life with, and create the American dream, as silly as it is. I don't really want a white picket fence, but I want a house, and to be able to give back to the world in a way that I can make a positive change out of it. So, if this is something that you're interested in, or rather if you're, in college now, you are a couple years outside and still trying to break into your career, leave a comment. I'm curious to know what different career fields you're trying to get into, maybe what different difficulties you're facing, or if you have any particular tips when it comes to paying off student debt as well. Please, I'm all ears. Always open to new avenues or ideas on how to break down that debt as soon as possible. Again, I had 150,000 when I started back in, this was like 10 years ago now, and I've paid off about 70,000 of it. And we're really going to get very precise in this next year to make sure that we can get rid of it as soon as possible. But again, let me know what career field you're going into, any tips and tricks that you have when it comes to student debt or paying off debt in general, and I will see you next week.